Hello, um, Tonstant Weader back with another book review, this time of The Solace of Trees, a book by Robert Madrygin that is very timely. But maybe books about refugees are always timely. It seems like there are always refugees because there are always wars. A point Robert Madrygin makes in this book. This one, though, is about Amir, a refugee from Bosnia. It begins when he's 10 years old. His family is slaughtered in the Serbian ethnic cleansing of Muslims from their villages. They throw a grenade, and it's possible the concussion of the grenade has damaged his hearing because he cannot hear, and for some reason, since he can't hear, he can't talk either, or won't talk. Can't talk. He escapes through the forest, meeting up with various people. It's a harrowing, dangerous, and tragic escape to the UN refugee camp where he is, because he's disabled, sent to the United States to be with a foster family, and eventually adopted by Margaret, a retired professor of psychology, and with her love and family and support, he finds love, hope, his voice and his hearing, and he finds a future. And it takes us to his years in college, where, out of curiosity, he takes a class in Islamic studies to learn a little bit more about his family, meets a Muslim woman, Jadranka, who's Bosnian as well, and they fall in love. He remains pretty secular, and it's more curiosity. But his professor is one of those really controversial professors with an active advocacy for Palestinian refugees. And Amir helps with a couple of film projects for him about refugees. But 9/11 happens, and things that were not sinister before become sinister after. And Amir falls into the eyes and suspicions and the clutches of the Department of Homeland Security and the military. And it's all quite awful. There's a really good plot to this story, and it's important, and it's timely. And the story is very humane. It says important things about our role and our culpability in the refugee crisis, in what happens, in collateral damage, in this whole tolerance of the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. And this odd dichotomy where we can obsess for years over one child of Casey Anthony and utterly disregard the deaths of thousands of children outside of the United States and outside most of Europe too. And there's, we're Charlie, we're Paris, we're London, we're never Beirut. That's a problem, and he calls us on it. And this should be a great book, and I should love it. I certainly love the politics of it, but it isn't. For me, it's a failure as a book, because despite the great plot, it fails to engage me And that's because the author does what's my pet peeve and the cardinal sin of writers. He tells and tells and tells, and he doesn't show. There are some beautiful scenes with the trees, with the mirror in the forest and with the trees, but that's because he doesn't get to tell us what the trees are thinking. He does tell us what the medic's thinking, what the UN workers thinking, what the pediatrician's thinking. He tells us what everybody thinks because we obviously aren't smart enough to figure it out on our own. He certainly doesn't trust us to understand what he's trying to tell us. He doesn't trust us as readers to think and feel the right way. So he tells us how to think and feel. For me, that's a failure. In art, there's this thing called the beholder's share, which is the idea that really great art is completed by the person looking at it. I think we need that idea in novels too, that the reader completes it. Because these authors need to trust us to actually understand the human emotions and ideas and thoughts of people in the books. After all, they're humans too. Anyway, it would be a good book. It should be a great book. And it's not so bad that I don't want to read another book by this author ever again as long as I live. I actually look forward to a second novel in the hopes that he would take his great heart, his humanity, and his compassion, and his ability to craft a really good plot, and then trust us. Trust us as readers to be able to understand his point without spelling it out for us. That would be a great book, and I'm looking forward to that. The Solace of Trees is being released on the 11th of July. The publisher is New Europe Books. I think it's a new publishing house because The Solace of Trees is the only book on their website. And it's being distributed by Penguin Random House. I received an e-galley from the publisher through NetGalley. And that's it for this book. I look forward to seeing you soon.